Hey, Bills Mafia! Welcome back to the channel. As always, we're here to break down the latest news, rumors, and insights about our Buffalo Bills. The team is constantly working to improve, making moves that bring us closer to that Super Bowl dream. But before we dive into today's exciting topics, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on those notifications so you never miss an update. Let's get into it. Alright, Bills fans, let's talk wide. Receivers, former NFL QB and now NBC Sports analyst Chris Sims has a name he thinks would be a perfect fit for our offense: Washington State's Kyle Williams. And honestly, this one should get you excited. Sims recently broke down his wide receiver rankings for the 2025 NFL Draft on his Chris Sims Unbuttoned podcast. And when a fan asked if Williams could be a great fit for the Bills, Sims didn't hesitate. I'll to agree. He described Williams as a true zid receiver, meaning he's a versatile weapon who can line up off the ball, go in motion, and create mismatches across the field. Pairing Williams with Keon Coleman would give Buffalo a dynamic duo, balancing size, speed, and route running ability. Sims highlighted that while Coleman would be the go-to guy for contested catches and red zone targets, Williams could be the one creating explosive plays all over the field. Motioning, running deep routes, taking jet sweeps, and just being a nightmare for defenses. Now, let's look at the numbers. Last season at Washington State, Williams racked up 70 catches for 1,198 yards and 14 touchdowns while averaging 17.1 yards per catch. Those stats alone are impressive, but when you combine them with his Senior Bowl performance and a solid NFL Combine showing, including a 4.40 40-second 40-yard dash, he's shaping up to be one of the most underrated receivers in this draft class. And let's not forget Sims has a pretty solid track record when it comes to evaluating receivers. He was high on guys like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, and Malik Neighbors before they became stars in the league. So when he says Williams is special, we should take note. The big question is, will the Bills go after him? If Williams is still on the board when Buffalo's on the clock, it wouldn't be surprising to see Brandon Beane pull the trigger and add a player who could take our passing attack to the next level. Now, while wide receiver is an area the Bills could strengthen, there's one glaring hole on the roster that needs to be addressed in the draft. And that's the cornerback position opposite Christian Benford. Look, Benford is one of the most underrated corners in the league. His yards per target allowed ranked second best in the NFL last season at just 5.3, proving he's a lockdown player. The problem? Who is playing opposite him? Right now, the projected starter is Dane Jackson. And while he's been a solid depth piece, he's not exactly the long-term answer at CB2. Kaya Elam was supposed to be that guy, but he never lived up to expectations and was traded to the Dallas Cowboys. Rasul Douglas, who filled in nicely last season, wasn't re-signed. So as it stands, the Bills need to find a legitimate starting corner in the 2025 NFL Draft. With 10 draft picks, including 5 in the first 4 rounds, it's a safe bet that Beane will be looking to add a talented defensive back early. Good news. This draft class has some intriguing options at corner. Names like Nick Emanwori, Azareyev Thomas, and Max Melton could all be in play for Buffalo, depending on how the board falls. We've seen how crucial having a strong secondary is in today's NFL, especially in a division where we have to face quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. If the Bills want to compete at the highest level, shoring up that CB2 spot has to be a priority. Future Hall of Famer Von Miller has made it clear that he still wants to play in the NFL for a 15th season. The veteran pass rusher, who turned 36 years old this week, is still on the open market after being released by the Bills earlier this month as a salary cap casualty. While many assumed his time in the NFL could be coming to an end, Miller isn't ready to hang up his cleats just yet. Miller recently sat down for an interview with Kay Adams on the golf course during the 2025 NFLPA Classic in Mexico, and he opened up about what he's looking for in his next team. His top priority? Winning. 15 years in the game, you just don't want to go through those growing pains of losing again. That'll drag you down faster than anything else. You can never predict what's going to happen next, especially in the NFL. You never know what's going to happen next. Winning football games is a huge priority for me, and everything comes after that, said Miller. Miller made it clear that at this stage of his career, he's not interested in a rebuild. He wants to play for a contender, and while he's keeping his options open, it's unlikely he'll join a team that isn't in a position to compete for a Super Bowl in 2025, so could a return to the Buffalo Bills still be an option for Miller? While the Bills haven't completely shut the door on the idea, it doesn't seem likely. With the signing of Joey Bosa and the potential to add more talent through the NFL draft, the Bills seem to have moved on. The reality is that Miller's production dropped significantly in 2024 after dealing with injuries, and the Bills needed to free up cap space to make other moves. That said, if he doesn't find a new team before the start of the season and Buffalo feels they need an extra pass rusher, perhaps the two sides could reconnect down the road. Let us know in the comments. Would you want to see Von Miller back in Buffalo, or do you think it's time for the Bills to move forward with a new group of pass rushers? While Miller is looking ahead to his next opportunity, he also took the time to show huge respect to his former quarterback, Josh Allen. I've done everything I can possibly do. Whatever's next for me is what's next. It's fun. It's exciting. You're looking at new teams and new quarterbacks. You can never replace a Josh Allen and the season that he had, said Miller. And honestly, he's right. Josh Allen put up another monster season in 2024, proving once again that he is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Despite dealing with injuries to key players, offensive line struggles, and roster changes, Allen still managed to lead the Bills to another playoff run. Miller has played with some elite quarterbacks in his career, including Peyton Manning and Matthew Stafford, but hearing him say that Allen is irreplaceable just reinforces how special our QB is. The Bills Mafia already knows it, but it's always great to hear it from a future Hall of Famer. Miller is keeping his options open, but could his golf outing provide a clue as to where he might be headed next? During the NFLPA Classic, Miller was seen golfing alongside Denver Broncos wide receiver Courtland Sutton, kicker Brandon McManus, and quarterback Brett Rypien. Could a Denver reunion be in the works? The Broncos could use a veteran presence on defense, and Miller would certainly be welcomed back with open arms by the Denver fan base. That said, if he's looking for a true contender, Denver might not be the best fit unless they make major improvements this offseason. Another possibility? The Kansas City Chiefs. The reigning Super Bowl champions could be looking to add depth to their pass rush, and Miller's veteran leadership could make him a great addition alongside Chris Jones and George Karlaftis. Other teams that could be interested include the Philadelphia Eagles, Baltimore Ravens, or Dallas Cowboys, all of whom are in win-now mode and could use an experienced edge rusher. So, Bills Mafia, those are the two big storylines to watch heading into the 2025 NFL Draft. Could Kyle Williams be the next dynamic playmaker in Buffalo's offense? And will the Bills finally solidify their cornerback room by adding a much-needed CB2? I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Should the Bills prioritize a WR like Williams, or should they focus all their energy on fixing the defense first? And if you could pick one player for Buffalo to draft in the first round, who would it be? As always, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more Bills content, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a thing. We've got plenty more draft coverage coming your way, so stay tuned. Go Bills!